Hello, Pisces. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your bonus tarot reading for your luckiest day of the month, which just happens to be April 12th, 2025. On this day, you might feel very like I'm going with the flow. Everything is feeling good. For some of you, love is blossoming, whether that's in a current connection or a new connection. For those of you who are engaging in any projects, whether they're just like around your home, or maybe you're learning something new, or for some of you, if you're business owners, you could feel like your creativity is exceptionally heightened on this day. I also feel for those of you who have been in conflict with someone, particularly a platonic connection like a friend or family member, you could feel on this day like peace is prevailing. I was going to say spidey senses, but the technical term, spidey senses. But you could also feel on this day like your intuition is at its peak or extremely heightened. So I would definitely pay attention to your intuition on this day. But of course, you should be paying attention to your intuition every day, but especially on this day because it's trying to reveal something to you. Keep in mind, my friends, this is a collective general reading, not individualized or personalized to you, and therefore messages may come through today that do not fully resonate. And if that happens, don't get upset. It just means that one message is intended for someone else. Also, three quick messages before we start your reading. One, I'm a Gemini sun. My ruling planet Mercury just went direct. However, we're still in post shadow. So I may slip up in this reading. I could say Knight of Wands instead of King of Wands or vice versa. And if that happens, please forgive me. Two, I'm still recovering from an illness, so my breathing could be a little bit labored, or maybe I'll pause before I say something, and that's just because I'm trying to catch my breath. And three, if you would like a one-on-one, face-to-face live tarot Zoom reading with yours truly, please visit my website at thetimeline.tarot.com. With all that said, let's begin. Okay. With the Shaman's Oracle deck, your card is Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibility. I like this, card number 51. Your first Moonology card here is Out of Bounds, Moon, Boundaries. Might have to listen to your intuition when it comes to establishing boundaries. And then you have first quarter moon in Libra, Keep Your Heart Open, which I did say some of you could be experiencing new love on this day. So let's get into tarot now for Pisces. Tell me more about limitless possibility, boundaries, and keeping your heart open. And that is the first quarter moon in Libra card. However, the next day, on the 13th, there actually is a full moon in Libra. So there could be something here about keeping boundaries in a connection in order to keep it fair and balanced. Tell me more about this for Pisces. Limitless possibility, boundaries, and keep your heart open. One more. Okay, the Six of Swords was about to show itself. One more shuffle now. Thank you. Limitless possibility, we have the Ace of Swords. Boundaries, we have the Chariot. And keeping your heart open, we have the Two of Pentacles. Ace of Swords clarified by the Star card. The Chariot clarified by the High Priestess. There you are. I did say listen to your intuition on this day. And the Two of Pentacles clarified, yep, by the Eight of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Cups. I love this as the next step because now we're looking into May. So walking away from something that was no longer emotionally fulfilling in order to walk towards wish fulfillment. We then have the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Wands, but I'm not worried about that because I think you're moving forward in a very stealth and strategic-like way. Let's start your reading, my friends. Limitless possibility, Ace of Swords and the Star card. I think you're realizing, first of all, I think you've been healing from something, and we've seen this in your readings. And I always say the Piscean collective is split. So whether you've already left some toxic connections and you're healing, or you're on the precipice of leaving a toxic connection, either way, I think you're in the process of healing. I remember when I left my marriage, within 3 months of telling him that I wanted a divorce, I was already entering a new connection, which, by the way, I'm still in 4.5 years later. But a lot of my friends who really did not know the details or intricacies of my marriage and all the problems that we were having in the last 3 to 4 years of the marriage couldn't understand, well, how are you moving on? I mean, you're with this person almost a quarter of a century and you're already dating someone like 3 months later. But I was like, but I have been grieving the loss of my marriage for the last 3 or 4 years. So I was ready. So again, I say, like, whether you have left, whomever or whatever this is in the past, or you're on the precipice of doing it, you're still in the process of healing, whether you're healing after the ending or you're healing leading up to the ending. I also think there's something here about you really understanding what wish fulfillment is when it comes to your connections, platonic and romantic, because of the past heartaches, or maybe for some of you, that current heartache that you're going through while you're, I feel beginning to separate from it in the next 2 weeks. But there is something here of, now I know what a healthy connection looks like. I can see it very clearly now with the Ace of Swords. And now you have limitless possibility to find that person or to find that tribe of people. You then have boundaries to the chariot and the high priestess. Moving forward, you will have very strict and stern boundaries with individuals in your life. And I think that's a good thing. The chariot typically is driven by the emperor or the empress. So whether you're masculine or feminine, this is you tapping into your intuition as you move forward. Again, whether you're moving forward into this new connection because you left this one behind some time ago, or you know you're about to leave this connection and you're moving forward in the hopes of finding someone better, which by the way, you do. We've seen this in all of your readings. And if it's not a romantic partner, you're leaving behind, I'm going to be honest with you, a crappy friend or a crappy family member, or maybe even a group of people. But again, I feel like what's coming is way better. So you're moving forward now using your intuition and setting some really healthy boundaries. We then have keep your heart open. Two of Pentacles to the Eight of Cups. Whether you're moving towards wish fulfillment right now in the next 2 weeks, or you're leaving behind this person or these people and moving towards wish fulfillment in the near future, you're still doing it in a very, very balanced way. So I think if you're on the precipice of leaving this connection, you know that, what you had here, we've had a good run, but it just isn't meant to be. And so I think you are leaving this current connection and you're keeping your heart open. I don't think you're closing it off entirely. I think you're understanding that just this connection didn't work, but it doesn't mean that love is, done and over with forever. And same thing for those of you where you've left this person or these people in the past. I think you're moving forward in a very balanced way, ready to find someone new, or ready to find a new tribe or a new friend, or again, whatever it is. And I hate to say you're replacing, but that's technically what you're doing. You have removed someone from your life, or they have been removed from your life, and you now have the energetic space as well as the heart space to welcome in a new person or new people. And so in that respect, I think you're doing it in a very balanced way. Tell me more about the Ace of Swords. What is this clarity? And yeah, this reading will resonate, or should resonate, for those of you on either of the timelines. And I know I always joke about that, but it's true. Some of you did the hard work already, and some of you are about to do it, and that's okay. But the two timelines are definitely converging. I think I said that in your monthly read, and I definitely see that here energetically as well. I'm even feeling it. I'm not just seeing it in the cards. I'm feeling it. So tell me about the Ace of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have Page of Pentacles. So starting new, starting in a more grounded way. Tell me more. What are you seeing clearly now? We just saw the Ten of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. Did I say Ace of Wands? Or no, what we saw was the Ten of Wands. The Ace of Swords clarified by the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, bottom of the deck, we have Seven of Cups, Five of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. This is what you walked away from in the past. Being in a connection where there was a lot of confusion, a lot of delusion, a lot of remorse, a lot of regret, maybe, on your side, maybe on their side, and I remember even when I left my marriage, there was remorse and regret, because no one says I do thinking 24 years later, they're going to say I won't, or I don't want to do this anymore. So even though I was the one to initiate it, there was some remorse and regret that we couldn't go the distance. But, I quickly realized our contract together had expired. Our soul contract had expired, and we really took it out to the last sentence in that contract, the last period in that contract. I really think that we fulfilled it. But there was no more to go. There just was nowhere else to go with it. So I think for some of you, it's confusion, illusion, depression, sadness. I also think in the Six of Pentacles, with that Five of Cups, I think there was not an equal give and take, or you could have felt like you were always begging this person for attention, for love, for communication, for direction. Maybe for someone watching, this person put you in competition with other people. So maybe you wanted to be in this monogamous connection and they did not. Could be something like that as well when I see Six of Pentacles to the Seven of Cups. But because of that experience, moving forward now, you will never doubt your intuition again, and you will also set healthy boundaries for yourself. So I'm on the precipice of this new beginning because the Page of Wands is the minor arcana card to the Fool card. I'm going to discover now how to move forward independently of this connection. King of Wands, I'm going to do it in a very inspired, a very bold way, very brave. This is what I have to do. This is the direction I have to go in. So again, if you're, that first timeline where you've left this person or these people already, I think this is what you've left behind, and you did it in a very bold and brave way. And that Four of Pentacles to the Star card, I feel like you're just, not only are you holding on to yourself here and trying to rebuild yourself and restabilize yourself, maybe even financially, I think you're holding on to the dream that you deserve better. And you're right, you do. And for those of you where you are about to walk away from this person or these people because of this reasons, I think you're doing it exactly the same way that that first timeline did. I think you're taking inspired action. You're going to restabilize yourself financially, and you're also holding on to the dream that I'm going to keep my heart open because I know in the future my person or a person is out there. And in that respect, you're right also. We then have boundaries, the Chariot and the High Priestess. As you're moving forward towards victory and success, you will never doubt your intuition again. You'll have moments where you second guess it, and we all do. But I think at the end of the day, you're always going to tap into how you're feeling about the connection, whether it's platonic or romantic. And not just like how you're feeling heart-based, like in your gut, that gut feeling. So there's something here about you holding on to the lessons. The High Priestess here is holding a scroll. In this card, so in this particular deck that I use for you. So there's something here about I'm moving forward, but maybe I'm leaving behind the bitterness and I'm healing from the sadness and all of that, but I'm taking the lessons with me. And one of your main lessons was boundaries. Tell me more about the High Priestess card here. Tell me more about what Pisces learned or is in the process of learning. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. What happiness and stability really looks like. Queen of Pentacles, how to nurture yourself. And Four of Cups, how to say no. Having boundaries and knowing when to say no. I really like this for you. I don't like what you went through, but I like where you're headed. And I think I tell you that all the time. If I don't, I should. Tell me more about the High Priestess here. What else is Pisces moving forward with? One more shuffle. Thank you. What are you moving for? Boundaries. Seven of Wands. Now you can see things because, right, in the Seven of Wands card, the individual is on a hill and there are six wands poking up from them. So now you have a broader perspective. This is like Sagittarius energy here. Sagittarius energy, that King of Wands energy or Queen of Wands, is I can see the long term because I'm up on a hill. I have the long view of something. So this is you like really trying to get a good glimpse of everyone coming towards you, platonic and romantic, from now on, having a line in the sand, respecting yourself enough to say, these are my boundaries. Please don't cross them. The Emperor. And I told you who drives the chariot, the Emperor or the Empress. So this is very bold, decisive action on your part that as I move forward, again, I'll leave behind the bitterness. And I may even forgive this person in time, but I'm never going to forget what happened to me because in a High Priestess energy, you're holding on to that scroll of lessons. And then you have the Tower. Wow. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Devil, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have Justice. It may have taken you a long time, maybe a year. So some of you were in this, connection. And again, for your readings, for some reason, I always have to say, for those of you who did it, for those of you who are on the precipice of doing it, and I'm sorry if that's so repetitive, but I am definitely speaking to two different groups of Pisceans here on my channel. So I don't want to confuse the message. Yeah, for some of you, you were in that connection for a year. At least a year where you knew it was toxic and you had to break free from it. And you're one day, it kind of like me, you just woke up one day, even though for a whole year you knew it was coming, on some random Tuesday, you just got up and said, you gathered 15 seconds of insane courage and you said, I'm sorry, this no longer works for me. And that's literally how I kind of started the conversation, was like, this no longer works for me. So yeah, for some of you, this is what you did. And for others of you, this is what you're about to do. Because again, it doesn't mean that this person that you're leaving is a horrible person. They may be, they may not be. I don't know. I'm not tapping into their energy. I'm tapping into yours. And what you did see was that the connection itself was toxic and it was unhealthy. And you saw it for quite some time before you decided to speak up. So yeah, for some of you, you've left this in the past and now moving forward, you're moving forward in a very different way. It's almost like who you were was broken down by that connection. And now you're rebuilding yourself with these new boundaries. Boundaries you never had before. And for others of you, you're about to do that, like literally within the next 2 weeks. You're going to realize your power and your strength, and you're going to realize you were giving it away. Again, not saying that the person you're leaving is a horrible human, but the connection was not healthy for you. You're going to realize that. So we then have keep your heart open. So you're moving forward. And again, some of you ready for love or ready for new friends. And for others of you, you're walking away from this and that's what you're headed towards. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Cups. You are keeping your heart open to new connections. I'm going to clarify this 8 of Cups here. So the bottom of the deck here, the way I did your spread is May. So I think in May, for those of you where you have a new person entering your path, this 9 of Cups, this person who checks all the boxes, whether as a friend or a lover, I think you're going to be very strategic. 7 of Wands, Queen of Wands, kind of looking this person up and down. You're going to be looking for the red flags. Again, you're taking all those lessons you learned from that past connection or past connections to make sure you are not tricked or fooled or deceived again. Bravo to you. Bravo to you. For others of you, you are leaving this person or these people. And in May, you're going to come up with a strategic plan on how to do that. You're just coming to the realization and the acceptance in the next 2 weeks that I have to leave this person or these people behind. So tell me about the 8 of Cups here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 8 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Swords, 10 of Wands, Page of Swords. For those of you where you're already left, you're moving forward. This connection is done. You're leaving it in the past. You're no longer wishing and hoping that this past person comes back. You're healing yourself. You're interested now in only connecting with people, these new connections that are solid. Page of Pentacles. These are you're looking for a solid person or solid people in your life. You're looking for connections that you really can invest in. I also think that you're moving on from this and investing in yourself. I kind of feel like there's a twofold message here. Like you're going to be investing in yourself, learning new skills, expanding a skill, learning new hobbies, getting out more, redefining who you are. Some of you relocating, or you've already just done that. And for some of you, you have a new job. I'm just going to throw that out there. If you've been looking for a job, I think you have a new job coming in, an opportunity for a new job within the next 2 weeks. And I think it's a job you're really going to love. I think it helps you to better balance your finances moving forward after the ending. And for others of you, you are about to end this in the next 2 weeks. You probably at some point told yourself you would never do it, but I think you're going to do it. I think you're deciding you need to find tangible ways on how to move forward. And I almost feel like you're going to kind of be like I was in the last few months of my marriage, working day and night, putting in 8 hours a day to figure out how to leave this connection. Either way, by May, you're kind of all on this new timeline. You're working towards and moving towards wish fulfillment in a very balanced and strategic way. In the past, you are leaving this 5 of Swords, 10 of Wands, Page of Swords. I think you don't want to have people in your life, whether they're platonic or romantic, that you constantly have to spy on them. You constantly have to, be a time checker. You know what I mean? And I remember going through this in another relationship I was in where I knew he was cheating on me. And so I started watching the time and know that, it took 35 minutes to get home and it's now an hour and 10 minutes and he's not home. I knew he was stopping somewhere. So I don't want to be a time watcher anymore. I don't want to have to spy on my person. Or if it's a friend, I don't want to have to constantly be checking in with them to make sure they're not betraying me or they're not two-faced or they're not gossiping about me behind my back, or I have to be super careful what I say to them. Like I only want solid connections in my life, whether they're platonic or romantic. So I just kind of think moving forward, you kind of want to get away, is the feeling like I don't want to exist in Page of Swords. If I have to keep a watchful eye on you, that means I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, it means you're not solid. And that means there's no room for you in my life. I really think you're going to be that discerning. For others of you, you just don't want to be in connections, whether they're platonic or romantic, where you have to carry all of the burden. Like the connection doesn't move forward unless you do. Date nights don't happen unless you come up with them or you plan them. Or the gatherings with friends or family don't happen unless you're the one organizing it and paying for all of it. And I sure as hell don't think you want connections where there's constantly sharp cutting words. You learn something valuable from this past connection or past connections. And even for those of you that are leaving it, self-love. Self-love has to come first. I have to love myself. And if I'm existing in a connection that is toxic, or I'm carrying it all, or I constantly have to spy on the person, there's all this fighting, existing in that is not an act of self-love. Believing it is. And I think that's, for good or for bad, what you learn. But moving forward towards wish fulfillment in a very balanced and strategic way. So congratulations. Again, I say, The two timelines on my channel are converging and coming together. And by May, you are keeping your heart open to a new connection. Bravo to you. That is what I have for you, Pisces. I absolutely loved this reading for you. That's what I have for your bonus reading for your luckiest day of the month, April 12th, 2025. If you like this message or these messages, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, my friend, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.